Welcome back. My fucking bed just exploded. Welcome back, nerds and nerdettes, to another episode of Speed Metal Pickups. So, this one is wonderful. I seem to end up buying stuff off crackheads a lot of the time, and you guys seem to like that. So this was a Transformers collection from a crackhead. So, I first got this call from some guy when I was in Calgary, at my buddy Blaze's house, in his kitchen, I think, making coffee. And I was like, Transformers, not really. Send me some pictures. Of course, because it's Facebook or the internet in general, and people are super just switched on and don't have any smoothness to their brain whatsoever. Never sent me anything. Cool. So I follow up when I get home and I'm like, hey, you sent me pictures? He's like, no, I will. I'm like, okay. Didn't again. Text him again. Finally sends me some pictures. Wonderful, I said. So yeah, there's just some Transformers. I sent them to my buddy Vinny. He's like, I'm going to do my best Vinny voice. I don't know. There's not much there, brother. Maybe that God Magnus. Yeah, he kind of talks like Hulk, the Hulkster, but a darker version, if you catch my meaning. And I'm like, okay, I looked the stuff up. I'm like, okay, there's some value there. This guy seems sketchy. So he's going to bring it over on, I don't know, like a Thursday or a Wednesday. Never shows up. Next day, again, same plan, never shows up. Friday, again, never shows up. So the next day, I'm like, look, dude, I've been waiting for you for 3 days. Let's go here, bud. He's like, hey, just come to me. I'm like, okay. 25-minute drive across town. Stupid. So I do it, whatever. I get there. I'm in this, it's an apartment complex. There's no parking. I park in some spot and I see this guy in a U-Haul that can barely park. And it's just like frantic, like looking around. I'm like, this is the guy, isn't it? Pulls in, parks. He's like, hey, waves me over. I go talk to him, shake his hand. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, hey dude, how's it going? He's like, yeah, not bad. So he's got a rented U-Haul filled with garbage in the back, like TVs, broken crap, and he's violently pulling a ladder out and like stuff is breaking on the ground. I don't know, glass, other pieces. I'm like, yeah, cool. So what's going on? He's like, well, it's in my buddy's apartment, but he's not answering his phone. And so I need to break into his house. Just so you know, I'm not like robbing him. I'm just going in there to wake him up. I'm like, so let's show that video. So this guy never answers his cell phone. I'm here to buy some shit and he's breaking into his buddy's. Take things I've never seen for 800, Alec. I don't really want to overtly film him doing this, but seems like another sketchy crackhead deal. Probably found a bunch of old Transformers fucking sitting somewhere. And we'll see what happens. I'm parked here. If I get towed, I'm going to lose my mind. And this classic car looks like it could be pretty cool if someone gave it some love. We'll see how much longer I need to stand in the fucking rain for retarded shit. So anyways, he breaks in to his buddy's house, lets me in the front door. I repark so I don't get towed. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And I go up there. It's a total like crack, or first I look at the comics. They're just trash for the most part. There's a couple newsstands like Venom, Lethal Protector 1 in a newsstand, but they're not in very good condition. Maybe some other crap. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we get there and it's a total crack shack. And he pulls out all these Transformers. Everything is water damaged. He didn't say one thing about there being any type of water damage. And I'm talking, there's just like a stacked to the roof of Transformers. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? He's like, yeah, I don't know. Like I found them, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And the guy that owns the place, the apartment, I think he's just letting this guy keep his crap there. He's like a long-haired native guy. I'm like, hey, dude, I dig the hair. You into heavy metal? He's like, yeah, but not any of that fucking screamo shit. Like, rah, rah, rah. I'm like, just say no. You're not. You're into crap. You like Disturbed. That's not what I'm talking about. Anyways, I digress. We get back to the Transformers, and I'm like going through. I'm just like, look, I would have given you $500 for everything, or whatever price. I don't know. I forget what I said to him, but I would have offered him like maybe $1,000, maybe more, depending if everything wouldn't have been water damaged. But I told him I would have offered you $500 because I'm trying to soften the blow. And I'm like, dude, everything's water damaged. You didn't tell me that. How about I give you $200? And he's like, $500 wouldn't have been enough anyways. It's worth way more. I'm like, yeah, sure. Because you're such a legit dealer. So he goes through all this stuff. I'm like, how about I just grab some stuff for $200 and then, I'll take all the not water damaged stuff and then I'll help you move the rest of the stuff and I'll give you some ideas. Cool. So, and then it starts off, he pulls out this, like, it's like a Panther thing. He's like, this thing's worth, what did he say? Like, I think he started at $4,000 and then he came down to 1,400. And I looked this thing up. I'm like, look, dude, this thing is rare. Don't get me wrong. It's like a fan exclusive thing for one of the Transformers expos. He's trying to tell me this is worth $4,000. And I'm like, it's definitely not worth that much. And he's just going off. I'm like, all right, you can keep that. I don't want that because I'm not trying to deal with that. But I'll buy all this other stuff. So I put everything together in a box, a couple boxes. And then he starts pulling stuff out. Oh, not this. Ooh, not this, not this. And he has the most retarded reasons because he has like a little kid. And he's like, oh, my kid would like this, or I like this, and I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm just here to make money. I don't care about your fucking kid or you or any of this. I just want to get my Transformers and get out of this fucking crack shack is pretty much where I'm at that point. And the other guy's already gone. So it's just me and him. And, so I got kind of everything ready to go. And I also said, I was like, yeah, so, and then I'll grab some comics too. He's like, yeah. So I go through and I get like a little stack. There's like the first Armored Spider-Man. What is that? Spectacular 101 or something. And then the Venom #1 in a newsstand and a couple other things. There's some TMNT books. Like nothing too crazy. And the stuff is not like, it's not 9.8. It's probably all like 8.0 or lower stuff, and some of it even had like maybe some mold inside of it because a lot of the stuff was water damaged. And a couple other stacks of comics. I was just like, this is trash. It's just completely water damaged bricks. Anyways, I pull out all the comics I want and he tells me, oh yeah, I'm not selling these. And I'm like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, I'm not selling these because you pulled them out. So they're obviously worth something. And I'm like, I'm like, so let me get this straight. You're trying to tell me that I'm ripping you off right now. It got heated. I was like, look, man, like, I ain't trying to go through collections and then have someone tell me that I'm trying to rip them off or do some other crap. And he's like, well, obviously it's worth more, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. So I look up the comics and I'm showing them. They're like maximum $5 to $20 a book. Probably even lower in the conditions. The only reason I wanted them was because they're newsstand. And then he's like, oh, I don't even want the TMNT books. And then he does want them. I just buy those to sell to my buddy Mike because he's a TMNT bro. But so I don't even want them for myself. I'm just buying them like, whatever. And I'm like, you know what, dude? You can keep the fucking comics. I don't want them. What I wanted to say was you can take them and wipe your ass with them is what I should have said. But I'm trying to get these Transformers out of this place still. So anyways, we come to a deal. He pulls out the crap he wants and I give him his money. And then I'm like, hey, so I think the rest of this stuff you should take to an auction house. And I gave him some auction house ideas. And I also told him like, hey, you find any of that other stuff? Because he said he had some He-Man and some other stuff, blah, blah, blah. That let me know. And I texted him that. And 2 points I forgot. When I pulled up, he wouldn't answer my phone calls and he didn't answer any of my text messages. So he has some weird pay-as-you-go phone probably. And the other thing, because I was like, where'd you get this collection from? And he's like, oh, I found it out in the rain. I'm like, that's kind of weird, but You know, I have gotten, there's these guys called binners, I guess. They, I don't know, because they jump around in garbage bins. I don't know why you'd want to label your shelf as that, but I have bought some stuff off these guys before. You know, that's how I got some of my older X-Men. But yeah, they literally hop around in dumpsters and garbage and whatever else, and they find some comics and collectibles. So it does happen. People will buy a house and they'll get all these toys or whatever comics, and they're like, I don't want this crap. And they just, you know, rich people don't care about crap like that. You know what I mean? They don't. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the crap came from. And there's some things in there. So I took all these Transformers and I posted them on a Vancouver collecting group, and it was really good. A lot of people bought them and made some good connections. And but then, of course, the one guy, he says, blah, 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 shouldn't this be taken up with RCMP because they're probably stolen? I'm like, I didn't even respond to the guy. Like, are you accusing me? And then another guy accused the same thing. And it's just like, all right, I'm going to get into all this in my next video about how much I love Facebook groups. But yeah, so I've been trying to sell these, and I don't know. Part of me wants to call him back and go back there and get the rest of the stuff now. But I also don't want to deal with this guy. I don't want to be around people like that. And it's just gross. Like, I'm really glad I don't have a smell, because I can just imagine the smell in there or the smell that these things have. It's just kind of gross. But hey, that's Vancouver for you. Buying Transformers off of crackheads. I'm sure I did a wonderful thumbnail for this video. And yeah, anyways, I guess I buy Transformers, and I guess I buy video games now too. So you come across that crap, holla at your boy. See ya!